When I was 17 years old, I got really into the sport of surfing. And when I got my license, I started driving to the beach from like an hour away whenever I thought that there was a chance there could be waves. I got totally wrapped up into the culture that comes with the sport. I started dressing like a surfer, and I'd pretty much go barefoot or wear sandals anytime I had the opportunity to. One day when the waves were getting really good, I rushed down to the beach, I threw on my wetsuit, and I got ready to head out into the water. I waxed up my board and I took off running for the beach. Barefoot, of course. Because I was in such a rush, I didn't notice that someone had let their dog use the grass next to the sidewalk as its own personal bathroom. So what do you think happened next? Yeah, you guessed it. I stepped right in it. I was seriously grossed out. And the rest of the walk down to the beach, I was like rubbing my foot in the grass and the sand, trying to get every little bit off I possibly could. So here's the really strange part. In a weird way, stepping in what that dog left behind made me think of the Bible. You see, during Bible times, we know that people didn't necessarily have shoes like we have them today. And when they traveled, they either walked barefoot or they wore something on their feet that could be compared to our sandals today. They walked on dirt roads where donkeys and other animals were walking. So you can only imagine how dirty someone's feet would get through the course of a day. And for that matter, what kind of things the disciples had to walk through on their journeys. In the book of John, we enter into a very familiar scene in the upper room when Jesus is celebrating the Passover with his disciples. During their meal, Jesus gets up, he removes his outer clothing down to his undergarments. He then begins to wash his disciples' feet. Some of you might think, well, what's the big deal with washing someone's feet? Well, think back to that story I told you about when I went surfing, and then imagine that this could be exactly what the feet of the disciples were like. On top of that, feet washing was an act reserved for slaves, not a master or even a king. Jesus humbles himself to the level of a slave and so selflessly washes the dirt from his followers. He puts back on his clothes and he commands his disciples, I have set an example that you should do as I have done for you. So what's Jesus actually trying to say? And what if this act wasn't actually about washing his disciples' feet, but more a symbolic act for us to imitate? What if Jesus was trying to show us just how low we should go to humbly serve those around us? So where are you at today? And how have you been serving the people around you? 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, so now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love. When it's all said and done, people won't know that we're Christians because of how much we know about the Bible, or even because we abstain from the things of this world. They'll know that we're Christians because of how we love. After all, the gospel is a life to be lived, not just an ideal to be contemplated.